Welcome to today's CIO Water Cooler. My name's David Savage, and today I'm joined by Joanna Drake, CIO of the Hook Group. And before we started recording, you were talking about the Hook Group, and the one thing that's immediately apparent is you're rather passionate about the business, right?
Yeah, just a bit, yeah, definitely addicted to THG.
But that's quite a good thing, because the subject that we wanted to talk about was the need for people to be excited about the place that they work.
Yeah,
absolutely. Why do you feel that is such an important part of a business today?
I think it's an important part of a business, but definitely a tech business. So we as tech leaders can tend to sort of fascinate about the technology itself. And what I'm really always trying to do is actually look at the things that we're trying to solve, the problems that we're trying to solve, the opportunities that we're trying to realise, and getting people excited about that. And really excited to be coming into work every day and solving some of those problems.
So in terms of the business that you manage within THG as CIO, what kind of sized business is that and what does it cover?
In my role, I guess I've got sort of three areas to my role. One is I look after all the technology that all the staff use globally. Yep. Now that's quite vast because that could be a picker or a packer in a warehouse, it could be somebody in one of our manufacturing plants, it could be somebody on a makeup counter in Selfridges, in a corporate office, in a hotel. It's very vast, and there are a lot of different technologies that go across those. Then the other part of my job is making sure that our websites are highly available, performant and secure. So we run 24/7, 365 Global Operations Centre that looks after all of the websites, all of our e-commerce sites, all of the e-commerce sites that we build for other customers, and then also running the level 1 to 3 support for all of our hosting customers too.
Now I know that you have the view that everyone in a business should be a leader.
Yeah.
The organisation you just described is geographically diverse.
Yeah. And
has a huge range of different roles, from some stuff that I suppose outwardly people could say is quite low skilled through to really high skilled roles. So how do you actually, beyond saying everyone should be a leader, which sounds nice, actually make that a reality and something that helps the business?
I think it's about arming people with practical advice to lead the world that they're within. So we can't just rely on anyone with a CXO job title to lead, because that's like 0.001% of the workforce. So that's going to be really, really slow. So we need to equip everybody with skills and also behavioural traits to make sure that they're having a positive ripple effect on the area that they're leading. And that doesn't matter if you're a junior engineer, if you're a CEO, if you're a full-time parent, if you're a football coach. I think we can equip people with practical skills. Even if it's things like, if you're learning something, always make sure you're teaching somebody. If you're junior and you're learning stuff, who is coming behind you? Who are you teaching? Always when you learn, make sure that you're teaching that to somebody as well. But certainly the cultural elements as well, and making sure that we have a positive culture where everybody's enabled and everybody feels that they have a voice, and that they're in a trusted and safe environment as well.
Yeah, I suppose that cultural piece is the really interesting bit as well, because how do you actually formally make sure the organisation follows through on that? Because obviously, managers at a local level will have catch-ups, they'll have reviews, etc. Yeah. But what do you do to make sure the tools and the techniques are there to help entrench the positive messages that are coming from you and your leadership team?
Yeah. I think when you talk about things like performance reviews, we always say that when you get to, whether it's a quarterly or an annual performance review, there should be nothing in there that's new news. So we talk about doing that sort of thing every day. So if somebody does something well, feedback immediately. If somebody does something not so well, feedback immediately. Really instant feedback is what works. And then when you get to the performance review, you've already had that discussion, there are no surprises. And I think if everybody's doing that and everybody's equipped with that practical advice, it makes the performance reviews a lot more straightforward. Other practical advice, like identifying people's strengths and their weaknesses and their desires so that you can develop that individual properly. You can identify opportunities of coaching and mentoring. Means, again, you get to performance review, it's no new news. You're having those discussions all the time. So if you're equipping all the people in your organisation to be a great leader with practical advice like that, then that's only going to have a positive impact.
I suppose the last thing I'd ask you mentioned, again before we hit record, that you're, I don't know whether consolidating is the right word, but you've got a number of new sites that are opening for the business, and you've got, obviously that's going to be some upheaval in terms of people movement and relocations and putting new teams in the same space. But that also presents a really exciting opportunity, I suppose, to look at the people strategy and the culture and go, hang on a minute, here's an opportunity to get some new stuff in here that we've wanted to do for a little while, but maybe we haven't. So what are those opportunities?
Yeah, opportunities and challenges, I'd say. So when it comes down to things like when you're acquiring new businesses, acquiring new people, acquiring new buildings, we've been doing a lot in the last year around making sure we automate as much as we can, that we give people the ability to do their job from any device, anywhere, that we can almost plug in an acquisition a lot more quickly, so that these things don't matter. So that if a new acquisition comes along, a new building comes along, and another new load of new people come along, then we can plug that in really quickly. The challenge comes that we've been working on that for the last year, but you almost retrospectively need to go back round everything you acquired and obtained before that to get them also integrated in that same standard way. So it's an opportunity to use technologies and to work really well together as a team and successfully deliver some transformations. But there is that challenge as well of having to go back round the houses, if you like, on what went before.
Well, look, thank you for taking some time to share a little bit about your role and the Hut Group. If you've enjoyed today's episode of CIO Watercooler TV, please do take a moment to have a look around the website. There's plenty more content.